Okay, so let's go back to Google again and let's just type in the word beach. So the objective here is we're going to put a beach scene behind our image. So in this particular case, let's just take this beach scene right here. Now, if it helps you, what you can do, what I've discovered, you can do beach high res. And that will bring up some high resolution photos if you want to pick those. So let's actually go with this beach scene right here. Okay, so the same thing here. We're going to right click or control click Macintosh. We're going to copy. We're going to go to Photoshop and we're going to paste. Copy paste, Command C, Command V. Now, in this particular case, this did cut some of the image off. So if I go to my move tool, letter V, I want to make this bigger. Okay, so we're going to choose to increase the size of our canvas. Anything about the image is under the image menu. Based on these choices, image canvas size. The shortcut Command Option C, Windows Control Alt C. It's a very good idea, especially if you want to do this professionally, guys. Time is money. Get to know as many shortcuts as possible. It's a language, so know your shortcuts. Okay, now how this works, by the way, I'm going to pick the top left hand corner and I'm just going to increase the size of this image here. So let's make the width of this, the height is actually okay. Let's make the width of this at about 14 pixels wide. And again, it's going to do it from the top left hand corner, and I'll explain that in just a second. Okay, so therefore I can drag the stuff in the top left hand corner. So as an example, now to do this in a professional manner, your resolution of your photo would have to support your final output. And I'll talk about that in subsequent videos. So this particular file was a high-res file, but it's basically not the size that we're looking for, but we can still make this work. Okay, so with this layer selected, let's double click this and let's call this beach. Now again, similar to our past, if you want to, once I get this in the position, I'm going to choose to make a clone copy of this. So the simplest way to resize this is Command T to transform. Windows is Control T. We're going to hold down the Shift key and drag this down to the bottom left, right about there. Okay. Now, if you want to, we can go and recrop this. But we're just going to keep it this size. I'm going to basically click right here and hit the return key. Very important step here. If you don't hit the return key or double click on this, you're totally stuck. You can't do much here. You have to hit the return key. Now, this layer is on top of these layers. So I'm going to take the layer and drag it below. Now it's below the layer. And I'm going to hold the Option key and make myself a clone copy. And we'll call this one Beach Original. Make a change. Save a change. So I want to hide this one. Okay, so this image is on top of this image. Now, important step here, again, for those of you new to Photoshop here, I want to be able to see through this, and I can't because this is opaque. Now, I want to share with you a very powerful technique here. I talked about this in a previous video, but I'll repeat it again. So let's say that you're working with about 30, 40 layers, which is possible. And I don't want to scroll through each layer to select that particular layer. I don't want to do that. I'm going to hide this layer, by the way. Okay, save that. So here's a powerful technique. As long as you're in the Move tool, which is the letter V, and you hold down the Command key, I can select that particular layer from the screen without going over here. So as an example, right now I'm on this layer. This layer doesn't affect anything because I can't see it, right? I want to select this layer, this palm tree layer. I'm in the Move tool, letter V. So at this point, if I hold down the Command key, Macintosh, Control key, Windows, I can physically select the layer. So by selecting it here, selects it here. This way I don't have to waste time scrolling through here. Now, in order to make this work, you have to be in the Move tool and you have to hold down the Command key, Macintosh, Control key for Windows. So if I want her, this image here, I can't click here. have to physically click on top. Command click, and again over here to the right, you'll see it selects that image. So since I'm in the move tool, I'm simply going to take this and move this to the center. Now I'm going to choose to make this image, even though her arm is cut off, I want to make this bigger so it basically goes past this image here. So Command T, hold down the Shift key, and I'm just going to expand this till she comes right out of the picture here, and hit the return key. Make a change, save a change. Okay, now when it comes to silhouetting artwork, it's best practice to, excuse me, drinking some salsa water here, so it caused me to burp. My apologies. So when selecting a background or deleting something around or silhouetting an image or outlining the image, it makes sense to pick the simplest background. Now obviously this is not going to be a simple background to select here because she's all tattooed, so the white's going to be the simplest thing to select. Okay, so I want to get a perfect pristine selection, and I'll show you the best way to do that in the next video.